Sunday afternoon, NPL men's action brings you to the Palace, where the Marconi Stallions have been ruling like kings over the NPL New South Wales. They are top of the table, and no matter the result of today, will stay there for another week. And in their way today stand the Western Sydney Wanderers, this young team that are hanging around the mid-table and are an outsider's chance of crashing into the top six. It's the Marconi Stallions hosting the Western Sydney Wanderers live on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Will Constantinides here with you up high in the scaffolding here in the lovely commentary position in Sydney southwest. A picturesque day for football, not a sight of rain that has plagued this area of Sydney in the last week. Makes for a perfect set of conditions for you for two teams that are coming into this one in pretty good nick. Starting first with Peter Tsakenis' Marconi Stallions. Well, they are chasing potentially a bit of history of their own. They are 5 clean sheets in a row at the moment. The record was set by St George FC earlier in this season with 6 straight clean sheets. That's an NPL record for most in a season. The Stallions will equal that if they can get the job done here today. And they are off the back of a convincing win against St George at home. Armson and Meyer getting on the score sheet in the absence of their captain, Marko Jesic. He returns today. Still no Anton Milinaric. He's still serving his red card suspension from a couple of weeks ago. Here is how the Stallions line up. In goal is number 1, Joel Wade. At right back, Tyron Burney. Cam Windust at the heart of defence in jersey number 3. George Daniel is in number 5. Tanquol, number 6. Number 7 is Franco Meyer. Number 8 is James Bayliss, who continues his second stint at the club. Number 9 is Damien Tsakenis. Number 10, Marko Jesic. Number 14 is Jack Armson. And number 23, the heart of midfield, is Quinton Blair. Well, as for the Western Sydney Wanderers, they picked up an important win against Sydney Olympic last week. It's a win that practically guarantees them safety in this competition. They may not necessarily be thinking about that, but for a side that played in the relegation playoff last year, they'll take comfort in knowing that no side has finished in the bottom 2 with 29 points or less, which is the current target they have at the moment. And off the back of that 2-1 win, here is how they line up against the Stallions, a side they are yet to beat in their history in this competition. In goal, number 1, Lucas Sinot. Number 4 is Ricky Franson. Number 5, Jesse Cameron. Number 6, Oscar Morrison. Number 7, Alat Abdul Rahman. Number 9, the league's leading goal scorer, is Awan Lawal. Number 16, Tristan Arate. Number 23, Oscar Moore. Number 25, Marko Radovancevic. Number 26, Bradley Marzal. And number 30, Anderson Back. Our referee out in the middle is Ivica Kovic. And with all that out of the way, all that remains is kick-off. It'll be the Wanderers getting us underway in this last match of the round. Should be a good one. Two sides that are playing for still plenty. This is by no means a done deal for the Marconi Stallions. There is still a lot of time left to go in this season. And with Apia picking up an important win at Sutherland yesterday, means that they are currently just 1 point ahead of their Derby d'Italia rivals at the top of the table. A win would secure that by another 3, take the margin to 4. As Cam Windust continues, he's taken up that central defensive pairing alongside Tanquol. Of course, no Anton Milinaric still, but despite his absence, the Stallions have been as rock solid as ever. Lawal able to find Alat Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman getting into the box. It's a dangerous pass. It's not cleared away, and the shot is flashed wide by Bradley Marzal. And that is certainly a bit of positivity to start from the Western Sydney Wanderers. And this is a Wanderers team that certainly scores a lot of goals. That has not been a problem for them this season. Certainly spearheaded by Awan Lawal. His 15 goals this season are the best in the NPL. And that's despite the fact that he hasn't featured in every game. Has missed a few here and there, but has been so reliable. And does tend to score in bunches. When he gets going, it's quite the sight to see. The Marconi defence, it's not too often that they have their hands full. Awan Lawal is certainly someone that can make things stressful. The Wanderers able to get out of the back here. Here is Tristan Arate. Ducking inside. It's with Oscar Moore. Lawal trying to shift away from Qual. Touch was slightly heavy. Tsakenis, a bit of work to do from this position. Able Able to link up efficiently with Armson, who returns the pass back to him, and Sekenis might be able to get behind here. Sekenis with the left foot. Shot was fairly tame. And that's easy pickings for Lucas Senot, but speaking of players that know where the back of the net is, other than Awan Lawal, the man chasing him in the Golden Boot standings is the Marconi number 9, Damien Sekenis, who are being treated to the two finest goal-scoring machines we have in this competition right now. It would be a shock to see neither one of them score today. Jesic. Good header up to Sekenis. Pass was a little loose. You can just see there's been a bit of a shift in Marconi. Marco Jesic playing a little wider than we're used to seeing him out on that left wing here today. Usually you might see Franco Meyer or Mato Busek play on either wing. Meyer's on the right today. And Jack Armson has retained that starting attacking midfield role that he replaced Jesic in last week. And Sekenis has rewarded Armson with retaining that position after he scored. Wanderers on the attack. It's with Ala Abdul Rahman. George Daniel able to mop that up. It'll certainly be interesting to see how that pans out. It's usually Armson who sits a little deeper with Jesic as the 10. Armson and Blair have partnered at the base of midfield, usually for Marconi this season. But the addition of James Bayliss has given Marconi coach Peter Sekenis an extra bit of depth to his team. Bayliss went across to the OFC Pro League for a little bit after a good spell with the Stallions in the NPL and the Championship. Franson putting a bit of pressure on Sekenis, forces the ball back down to the deck for the Wanderers. Here is Oscar Morrison. Check of the shoulder from back. Has to go quickly, but the pass is picked off by Bayliss. And he sees Jesic out in space on that left side. Marco Jesic looking for the cutback. And now they're laying it off for Bayliss. And Quinton Blair takes a deflection. It will be a goal kick. Marconi finding a lot of rhythm. And with the addition of Jesic into the team, they have 3 of the league's top 7 goal scorers in the lineup today, do the Marconi Stallions. Meyer finding the overlapping Tyrone Burney. Here's Tyrone Burney, felt that he was caught, went to ground right in front of the assistant who kept the flag down. Lawal looking to switch the point of attack. Pass is a bit heavy and that will just about roll away. And so I mentioned those 3 of the top 7 scorers for Marconi. Damien Sekenis, of course, in second. We've already spoken about him. Then Jack Armson is 6th in the league with 8 goals. Jesic right behind him in 7th with 7 goals. Meyer in search of George Daniel, puts it right towards him. Crosses a little heavy. It will fall kindly for Quinton Blair. Now Tyrone Burney. Wanderers able to get it away till a while. He turns back towards his own midfield, but again the Wanderers are set a little deep at the moment, which means Marconi can recycle possession calmly. Here's Joel Wade. Hasn't seen the ball fly past him into the back of the net for the last 5 games. Has had a fantastic debut season in goal for the Stallions. Had big gloves to fill, replacing fan favourite James Hilton, whose penalty heroics led the Stallions to the Australian Championship final, which included a semi-final win against RPA Leichhardt at Leichhardt Oval. Also, Joel Wade has been exceptionally good since he's come in. Meanwhile, the Stallions are going forward again. It's been a bright start by them on their home turf. Meyer tries one from distance, but pulled it and knew it as soon as it left his left boot. course, this is one of two NPL men's games happening at the moment. The other one is happening all of about 5 minutes down the road between Sydney United 58 and Rockdale Illingdon. Two other sides that are inside the top four. Keep you updated on that one as scores come through. It's currently at 0-0. 34 minutes gone. Blair stepping in. Receiving it back from Tsakenis. And Tyron Burney. Maya showed too much of it to Alat Abdul Rahman, who tries to get away from him, but Abdul Rahman, last touch was off Franco Maya. This combination has been growing as those two have become more experienced playing together, Tyron Burney and Franco Maya. It's Burney's second season at the Stallions after signing across from Blacktown City. Blair and Maya, they work the triangles well. Tyron Burney, they're able to get out of that tight corner. Cameron is making it difficult for Burney, but he still has possession. And that's good stand-up defending by Cameron. Did about as much as he could there without fouling. Will they go with the long throw here, the Stallions? Burney is certainly winding up for something. Armson has shown as the short option. Franco Maya's coming across. They go short instead. Bit of skill from Maya to try and create half yard of space. They decide to play simple and recycle around the back. Now it's with Tenquol as Jesic has come deep to receive. Bayless and Daniel. One Lawal able to disrupt that pass backwards, but it's quickly given over by the Wanderers striker. Qual giving it the big up and under with Lawal on his back. That'll allow the Wanderers to advance further up the pitch. 10 minutes gone. The game is still very much even though it is first place Marconi Stallions against the 10th placed Western Sydney Wanderers. Long throw is cleared away by Qual. Ala Abdul Rahman's underneath this though. Back is joining the play. Franson sends that nice and high, but that'll bring an end to that attack for the Wanderers. Bayless has eyes up, was I think intending the switch to Franco Maya, but the Wanderers defence can knot it down calmly for their keeper, Lucas Sinot. And this is certainly a tall task for the Wanderers here. They've played well against some of the better sides in the competition this year. They've picked up some big results here and there, but as mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they are yet to get a win against the Stallions in their 8 previous meetings in the NPL. That's the entire history between these two teams. Jesic searches out Tyron Burney. Marconi looking relatively unfazed in possession here to start, as you would expect. Windust. Now Tenquol, of course formerly of the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy. Tenquol, that's where he started his NPL New South Wales career before heading across to Sydney Olympic before joining the Stallions this year. Scored some big goals for the Wanderers in their time to keep them out of the danger zone. Blair. Now Qual. Here is Joel Wade. Of course, another one of the Academy products that the Marconi Stallions have signed. He's formerly of the Mariners Academy. And he goes keeper to keeper for Sanot. Franson. Now it's Sanot. Marconi are trying to box the Wanderers in here. Tankwall steps out in front of Lawal. It's a bit scrappy in midfield at the moment for the Wanderers, trying to just regain the ball to feet. They go back to Wade. First time clearance. Franson is able to head that, but only as far as Quinton Blair. And now Tyron Burney will overlap Meyer. Instead he goes inside, and that's a calm flick on now. There's a bit of a suggestion of a handball here. And it's certainly more than a suggestion, because Ivica has blown his whistle. And now the Marconi players are feeling that hand that was left dangling by, I think, Oscar Morrison, stopped Damien Sekenis from receiving the pass, which would otherwise have been a potential opportunity. There's no further sanction, though, for the Wanderers. But there is a cause for immediate concern, because Marko Jesic and Franco Meyer are in deep discussions over this free kick. About 20 yards out from goal. This is the sort of range where you practice them at training. And whether they go the left foot of Meyer to go up and over, or maybe the right footer of Jesic around the wall. There's 5 Wanderers defenders in that wall here for Sanot. He has to get this right. He's got 2 dead ball specialists. Marconi attackers eyeing this one up. You can see Jesic is, I think, trying to move some Marconi players around here. Try and catch Sanot out here. So will it be Jesic or Meyer? It is Jesic, up and over, but onto the crossbar. So close from Marko Jesic. He couldn't have come any closer. Went towards the keeper's side and has rattled the frame of the goal. It looked good off the boot as well from Jesic. Was looking for that natural dip and spin. And if that was maybe a metre further back, that would have ended in the top corner, as the Stallions fire the first big warning shot of the game. They're buoyed on here. They want to keep going. It's with Sekenis. Can take his man one-on-one. Looking to get it inside onto his left. Now he lays it off, but the Wanderers are back as Arate disrupts that move. They don't clear it efficiently, though. Eventually it's Marzal that gets it away, as Lawal can't turn the corner on Qual, who calmly dispossesses him. That is going to be a real battle to watch between Tenqual and Awan Lawal. It looks like they're preferring to keep Tenqual on Lawal and leaving Cam Windust to be the free centre-back. Ball has been almost exclusively played in this half as Jesic trying to head that back. Armson was looking for the knockdown and they couldn't quite connect. As Marconi are really starting to turn the screw now. It's been a while since the Wanderers have had meaningful possession in their opponent's half. Actually an offside call here against Marconi. One of their players coming back from an offside position to interfere in that play. A pass is played straight to Jesic from Moore. There's been a couple of those moments from the Wanderers, just unable to find a way through this Marconi midfield. It's a task easier said than done. Not too many teams have really come to the Palace in this second half of the season and played the game on their terms. Marconi have enjoyed the benefits of this fixture run at the back half of the season. Armson, now Meyer. Bayless thought he was tripped up by Arate, and Ivica agreed with him. And just speaking on the Stallions, they've played almost exclusively at home in the back part of the year. After there was some work done to the pitch here at Marconi Stadium, they had to play almost entirely away at the first half of the year. And they are continuing to play at home. And has really seen them find their stride up to the top of the table. They are 10 games unbeaten coming into today's match. And now we spoke about Jesic having a free kick from a metre back. And he has been given that exact opportunity. Barely a couple minutes gone from hitting the crossbar. About 22 or so yards away from goal. Tank Qual is slightly interested in this as well, but I don't think they'll be going away from Marco Jesic. He's got that nice right boot. Or will it be Franco Meyer with the left? More danger here for the Wanderers to deal with. It's Jesic again. He got over the wall, but undercooked it slightly, perhaps trying to compensate for that earlier strike. Only into the grateful arms of Lucas Sinot. Qual wins it back, and now Sekenis can take it forward. Trying to open up the space for Jesic. Daniel. They'll take their time here. Qual skips away from Lawal. Cameron can head that forward, and with Tyron Burney having committed, Alat Abdulrahman thought about racing away, but there is Quinton Blair doing what he has done all season in his debut year for the Stallions. There's been such a linchpin at the base of this Marconi midfield. It's with George Daniel, who not too long ago notched up 100 NPL men's games for Marconi, and he puts in that cross. A little heavy. Score update from a few minutes away over at Sydney United Sports Centre. It's Sydney United 0, Rockdale Illington 0 at half time. And now Franco Meyer, Damien Sekenis maybe has clutched down at his midriff, asking for a foul. Lawal is giving chase, forcing Wade for the heavy clearance. Cameron brings that down. Windus gets the call of time and brings it back to feet. This has been a good start to proceedings here by the Stallions. They've controlled more of the ball, looked dangerous with it as well going forward. And not too many teams have really made them work here. It's only really been Rockdale, which was a few weeks ago, that forced the Stallions into a bit of difficulty. That was a 1-1 draw, as Franco Meyer is only going backwards. That was 6 games ago that Marconi conceded their last goal. It was a 1-1 draw against Illington. Since then, no side has scored against them. Sekenis. Bayless. Jesic wants to switch. They'll go the longer route instead through the back line. Blair's pass, or Bayless's pass rather, is taken away by Cameron, who has it back again from Arate. Back. Arate. Cameron. Skips it along, and that might hold up in the wind a little bit for Oscar Morrison, but that pass is loose, and Bradley Marzal can only watch it go out for a throw. Meyer has sent Tyron Burney on a bit of a run here. They've swapped positions for the time being. And Burney is certainly comfortable getting forward in these sort of areas. Wins his side the corner. The first of the game goes the way of the Stallions. wind is really starting to pick up. It's actually blowing towards Franco Meyer. You can see that flag giving him a bit of trouble. He's got that in-swinging left footer to come. It will hold up against him potentially. It's a dangerous ball in, and Franson has to get rid of it. You can see the ball sitting up there. Sanot had overestimated how far it was going to travel. And so another opportunity here. And now Lawal and Qual are all tangled up amongst each other. Vicakovic is going to have a bit of a chat about this. Damien Sekenis is around there as well, as is Cameron Windust. Jesse Cameron and Bradley Marzal also there for the Wanderers. Franco Meyer, take two of this corner. The Stallions create here. They go with the similar variation, although I don't think he quite caught that as well as he wanted to, Meyer. Tyron Burney. Stallions fans who have rocked up week on week to see their side play here have seen that Marconi have been untroubled at home, even when games have been tight. They've kept the ball and looked consistently in control. Let's see what the Wanderers were able to put up against them. So far, they've had to really defend through the best part of almost 25 minutes. They did have that chance to start the game, but since then haven't really been able to create much. Meyer turns only into trouble. Rado Vancevic able to keep it moving forward, but it's just bouncing around at the moment. Marzal. Abdul Rahman has gone over to that right side now. Sanot. Pass is loose. Bayless turning. It's found Marko Jesic. Jesic. It's a dangerous ball in, but catching practice ultimately for Lucas Sanot. It's been a while since the Wanderers have kept a clean sheet. Last was 5 games ago now, or 6 games ago I should say, since they've had a clean sheet. Abdul Rahman. Wanderers going route one here. It's with Abdul Rahman still. And now he gets inside and lays it off for back. Attack continues though. Lawal picking up the rebound. And Meyer read that pass well, and Marconi have to get their defense out here with Cameron looking to knock a ball in. That's much better from the Wanderers, even if it is just the longer option to Abdul Rahman. He can certainly create. Has goals in as well, does Abdul Rahman. Again, an awkward clearance from Sanot, forcing his team into a more stressful situation, but they're able to make it work. Arate. Oscar Moore going backwards. Lawal had to get there ahead of Windust and has. And now he races away from Windust, leaving him behind. It's with Lawal. And now he goes down. There's a big shout from the Wanderers. And Ivica Kovic waves away the protests. Awan Lawal going down a little too easy for the referee's liking. But again, the Wanderers just have that little bit of attacking magic about them. It doesn't take much for them to create something, even if it's Lawal beating one defender at halfway and exposing a hole in the Marconi defense as they'd overcommitted with their higher line. It reminds the Marconi defense that despite all their possession, Wanderers can certainly hunt out a chance or two. Daniel dragged back. And now there's a bit of extras over there. This game is starting to get a little chirpy off the back of a couple of moments. Nevertheless, it's the Stallions who have this free kick. Bayless can't beat the first defender. Another opportunity for him here. It's a better ball, but again, Lucas Sinott has had good control of those crosses. Armson. Wanderers win it back. Rado Vancevic has it back from Cameron. Abdul Rahman. Bayless had a look and saw that he had space to work with, is trying an ambitious pass, but that's too close to the Wanderers' back line. Moore is trying to press Tanquol here, but he takes that touch to escape him. Marko Radovancevic. Alad Abdulrahman. Arate on the turn. Wanderers starting to grow in confidence now that they've weathered an early storm from the Stallions. Cameron. Straight to Marko Jesic though. Quinton Blair. Sekenis has peeled wide into a bit of room. Still with Sekenis. Trying to force that pass in behind. Lual. Again, they have him so tightly guarded. Quall and Windust have done a good job of taking care of Lual so far, but even when Lual had that one opportunity where he turned past Windust, that was what created the Wanderers' best opportunity, that penalty shout. Would have been one-on-one on goal had he not been tackled. Now Lual trying to get behind again. That's important defending by Quall. Had to time that to perfection. Lual through midfield, the Wanderers go. Back. Still has possession. Before Quall puts his boot through it. This is certainly encouraging signs from the Western Sydney Wanderers. A nice 5-minute spell they've been able to put together. Quinton Blair. Franco Meyer has worked that through almost to Marko Jesic. An important challenge. Forces it out for a corner. Pass just needed a little bit more power from Franco Meyer. Otherwise, Marko Jesic would have had an opportunity of his own. As it'll look like James Bayless will come across to take this. Of course, this is just his second start of 2026 after returning to the Stallions. Turned a lot of heads to see him sign. Stallions didn't need to go big in the mid-season window, having already secured a pretty good spot on the ladder. They sit top for the time being. But James Bayless is a more than quality addition. Here he is with the corner. It's a good ball in. Sinott has to punch. It's back out with Franco Meyer. And how about that from Franco Meyer? A bit of magic on that left foot again. And it's superb goals in back-to-back weeks from Franco Meyer. He did it last week against St. George. And he's done it this time through traffic. Nothing Sanok could do about that. As he just put his left laces through the ball. And smashed it into the back of the net. It's another moment of real quality from the Marconi number 7. As he's starting to find form at the perfect time of the year. Goal number 4 of the campaign for him. And his second goal in as many weeks. He hasn't scored a ton of goals this season, has Franco Meyer. Slightly down from where he was last year, where he picked up the 7, but it's goals like that that have the Stallions top of the table, and on the live ladder, they are 4 points clear of RP Leichhardt in second place. Blair. And that is what really the Stallions do, just when there is even the hint of trouble, just when the Wanderers started to have a bit more of the ball, is when the Stallions strike. They have been relentless these last 3 or so months. They're showing all the signs of a team primed for silverware as they sit in pole position for the premiership. How the Wanderers respond. They've fallen behind away from home. Windust looking to shield this one out. Tyron Burney with this throw. If you haven't seen Franco Meyer's goal from last week, it was another really rifling left-footed strike that had caught Vedran Janjetovic out after St. George made the mistake playing out from the back. That one was from about 35 yards away. His one this week was from the top of the box, but it looked like it was going to crash into a defender or two, but it just was rising off the left boot and didn't slow down until it hit the back of the net. This is a real test for this young Wanderers team now. They are, at the moment, 5 points away from the top 6, which is not insurmountable with 6 games to go after this one. Sekenis is lurking. Was inches away. The crowd went up for it. Marzal is in a lot of space here. Oscar Moore is making the run ahead of him. Unable to connect. Windust. And Tyron Burney. You can see the Wanderers trying to press in groups, but Marconi is just able to get out without a lot of stress. Armson. Burney on that underlapping run, gets into the area and lays it off for Jesic. And Marconi go bang, bang. 2 goals in a matter of minutes for the Stallions. And it's from the captain, Marko Jesic, back into the starting 11 today in a wider role, but it simply does not matter. As he made that late run into the box, was well spotted by Tyron Burney after some good combination play with Jack Armson. And he left Sonot rooted to the spot as he went the other way. As the Stallions have really stamped their mark on this game and continue to secure their spot at the top of the table. It just looked picture perfect from Marconi. They started at the back. They found Jack Armson going forward. Then it was Tyron Burney who continued his run all the way to the byline. And then he knew exactly where Marko Jesic was going to be, around that penalty spot. And you cannot give Jesic that much space in the area. And he has made the Wanderers pay. That's his 8th goal of the season, drawing level with his teammate Jack Armson. As Marconi's second leading scorers. Tied second, I should say. As the Wanderers have witnessed firsthand why Marconi are, at the moment, by far the best side in this competition. They are relentless. They do not give anything. Abdul Rahman gets past Burney, but is dragged back, and Tyron Burney might be lucky to escape without a caution here. Vicikovic is coming across just to let him know about the seriousness of that foul. And I think he's just telling him no more. So about 5 minutes to go here in this first half. And it's the Stallions with goals to Jesic and Meyer. They're 2 wingers today that have them in this commanding position. Abdul Rahman is trying to respond, but didn't look like it was troubling Joel Wade. Of course, aside from keeping this winning streak intact, it's been 6 straight wins for the Stallions. This would be if this result holds. As mentioned at the start of the broadcast, they are looking for their 6th consecutive clean sheet, which would be a league equaling record that St. George FC set earlier this season. At the start of the year, they started with 6 straight clean sheets, did St. George City, and now they find themselves, despite that hot start, in the bottom 2. How tides can turn this season. Qual taking no chances. Pinballs around. It's Blair that comes up with it. Meyer has spotted the overlapping Tyron Burney. This right side has already paid dividends. A goal for Franco Meyer, an assist for Tyron Burney. Both hugging this right touchline for Peter Tsakenis. George Daniel linking up with Marko Jesic, and Lawal has picked the pocket of James Bayliss. You won't see that happen too often. And now Lawal is looking to take matters into his own hands. He goes down under the challenge. And again, he goes down a little too easy for the referee's liking. You can just see the intent from Lawal. He is going to try and drag his team back into this. Wanderers trying to get one quickly before half-time to try and change their fortunes. Although Stallions might have their eyes on a third here. Tsukenis gets away from two defenders and spreads the pass wide for Marko Jesic. Bayless chips it up, but only Jesse Cameron can get to it. And Ala Abdul Rahman rides the challenge. Lawal will be offside. He tried to check his run, but was already a little too far gone. Interestingly, coming into this game, the Stallions, as mentioned, have enjoyed an undefeated record against the Wanderers. 5 straight wins against their opponents in their matchup history, which has included 3 straight 1-0s. And so the 1-0 run has been broken. The Stallions will have no qualms about that, being up 2 at halftime. That is if the score remains. About a minute to go here. Shouldn't be too much added time. Qual gets that away. The Wanderers are pushing here. Maybe the last opportunity of the half coming. Arate. Abdul Rahman. That's a nice turn, but again, Marconi just throwing numbers at him in midfield. And the blue shirts prevail. Tsukenis turns the initial defender. He's being chased by a couple, and Tsukenis goes down. And this should be a booking for Marko Radovancevic, and it is a cynical challenge through the back of Damien Tsukenis, who is going to need to receive a bit of treatment here. As we've ticked over into additional time. Maybe one last go at it here for Marconi. They would love to add a third. They would effectively almost seal the game at half-time. The Wanderers are really yet to force Joel Wade into a save, despite that spell before the first goal for about 5-10 minutes where they were looking likely to create something. Jesic and Meyer stand over it. Jesic will take this. Trying to loop it behind the defence. It falls to Meyer again. Bernie shanks at that a little bit. That may invite a bit of pressure, but it's headed out by the Wanderers. George Daniel is just waiting to take this throw. Eventually they get it in. Armson. So confirmation, there's 2 minutes that have been added on. Already had about a minute of that gone. Marko Jesic might be thinking about launching one here. Windust and Qual have made their way into the box. So Jesic with this long throw. It's got good distance on it. Wanderers get it away through Lawal. Meyer. Jesic. Those two have linked up again. Still with Marko Jesic. Finds Quinton Blair in a bit of space. get it away again. Tyron Burney will have a try himself, but Wanderers stand tall in front of it. And so that brings the first half to a close. Marconi Stallions, the league leaders, looking very comfortable at the Palace. Goals to Franco Meyer and Marco Jesic have them in front. And it's Marconi Stallions 2, Western Sydney Wanderers 0. How's it looking in the sun?
It's not as bad. Yeah. As I thought.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping the camera facing down for the most part.
Yeah.
Because we're so high, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
If we were a lot lower.
Every week, hundreds of thousands of people turn up around football grounds around New South Wales. Parents, kids, refs, coaches and volunteers. Cardiac incidents can happen to anyone at any time on the pitch.
Right now, not every club has a defibrillator.
And the ones that do are not always maintained or ready to use. In a critical moment, with a defib, that could save lives. That's why Football New South Wales, St John Ambulance and Toyota have come together for Every Beat Matters to help clubs around New South Wales to access defibrillators, cover maintenance and build a register so we know exactly where every unit is around the state. All you need to do is buy a ticket through Raffletix. $5 can make a difference. Every ticket goes towards funding defibrillators and maintenance for clubs that need it most. A live fundraising board shows exactly how much is being raised. And every ticket you buy puts you in the draw to win a Toyota Corolla. One ticket, real impact. Help your club be ready when it matters. So buy your ticket today.
Here's Sutherland. FC, midweek played SD Raiders. 1-1-0. Great strike and set it up now Farah. Delivers it beautifully. He's onside here. Just has to pull the trigger. While Prendergast made the initial save, the rebound to Fowler. Zach Fowler scores. Comes back to the left. This is Harm. Moving around, works it in. Get out of the way. Then another hit! I'll tell you what. This time he's got his goal. He was wanting it, and he's finally got it. Now the ball comes back to Pufflet. Now Woods. Woods shots! That seals the deal. Sean Woods gets the goal. His second for the season and could well be the match winner. He goes back in situation for Sydney FC. And a shot! Holy Toledo! Right on the stroke of full time, Tay Headley has delivered a great goal.
base, but not used to receiving possession as Maya gets it back. Franco Maya! That is spectacular! What a goal from Franco Maya! Some strong challenges in the middle of the park now from both teams. Cross into Armson, Jack Armson! Doubles the lead.
Thought about going for it first time. But where's that wide to Katrib? Good ball across. Abdul Rahman! Western Sydney opened the scoring on the 10-minute mark. McEwen, and that is a very strong challenge. And the free kick taken even quickly. Armanakis now. Great ball through. Kakucha gets onto it first. Sebastian Kakucha! That's a great shot and good save by Curto, but not enough, and it falls into the back of the net. And it's Lachlan Sitaut.
Delhi caught in possession. Hollingdale spills it. Diego Padilla blocked away. Great defending from Kishimoto. The through ball from Maya. Delightful! What a finish and what a goal! Yanni Nicolau! Segreto telegraphed the ball and he found a way past Maya. Rory Jordan breaking into the box. Ortiz! A precise finish comes from Mafuka. Given away. Vanilla runs laterally. Oh, Vanilla! Goodness gracious! What a goal! So Jordan Segreto has run over from the right side to the left to take this corner kick. Delivery to the near post, glancing on an end, all the way through. Long throw. Turn in the penalty area, blocked, and the follow-up safe, and then at close range it's in. Ticeman and Morongan. Sutherland have found a third.
The goal right in the shadows of half-time. Big goal indeed for David Perkovic's men. Great cross. Griffiths! There's the opener!
Directly into his face, Telmakovsky pauses, waits, looks for Constable in. Constable takes a touch, takes a second touch, bearing down on goal. Constable with the shot! Constable with the goal! In the 21 jersey, Noah Peacock. Looks like Corey Cavan is coming on as well here. Now, chance for goal! Oh, from nothing! From absolutely nothing. The ball has broken free for Sam Armson.
Geisen can clip it forwards. Awkward one for Beatty to deal with, and rushing through on goal now. Here's an opportunity, and it's placed into the corner. Shaked has work to do back. And now to find Lewis Curry, and it's still there for the midfielder. And finds the corner. It's 2-0 to the visitors. Duarte. Hugo Cornish lines up a strike. Dipping effort off the bar. And Scott heads in, and the Wolves halve the deficit. Dream start to the second half. Well, it was a diving header that looked to be in an awkward position. Hernandez's ball in this time, and it's a fantastic header from Yuto Fujita. Can find Fujita. Skips inside Fujita, still going, and buries a beauty. Yuto Fujita has turned this game around for the Wolves. Mitri, that ball's floated in. Berry still has it there. Tep is there, and it is in the goal. Bundled over the line, and it's 3-3. Not the prettiest of
Welcome back to the second half of football here at Marconi Stadium, where it is the Marconi Stallions leading 2-0 over the Western Sydney Wanderers, thanks to goals from Franco Maya and Marko Jesic. That has the league leaders extending their stay at the top of the table. If this result holds, they will be 4 points clear of RPL Leichhardt in second. And with how tight that top race has been to this point in the season, that 4 points will feel like a hell of a lot more. And it was a race in 3 not that long ago, and Sydney United 58 have sort of dropped away and now sitting away in clear third position. They're currently in action against Rockdale Illingdon as Marconi get us back underway. Sydney United currently leading against Rockdale with 15 minutes to go. That score just came through during half-time. And on the live ladder, there are 4 points difference between Marconi and Apia, and then a further 3 points down to Sydney United 58. As it looks like both teams are unchanged, or at least the Stallions are. The Wanderers appear to have made a change. We'll update you on that one once we get confirmation. Windust, good in the air. Blair steps in and Bayless is there too. So they look wide for the switch of play. It does look like the Wanderers have brought on Giorgio Hasarati. Recently signed a scholarship contract with the Western Sydney Wanderers for the upcoming A-League men's season. Comes out for Alat Abdul Rahman. Wanderers maybe shifting the formation a little bit. Might be going to a 4-4-2 here. They've turned it over in midfield though. Maya has options left and right. Showed too much of the ball to Marko Radovancevic. Looks like it's Oscar Moore that's been substituted for Hasarati. Armson. Blair. Jesic. Daniel pushing forward. Looking to drop it short for Jack Armson. Now he reverses it. Big shouts for a handball from Marconi. Again, they're waved away. Here is Tenquol. As they move it around the back. Maya. Looking to switch. Thought he was fouled. Put it right on the chest of George Daniel, who sort of dropped back on the recoil. Maya is down, meanwhile, in back play. Maya will have to watch his team go on as Daniel drops it short for Jesic. Still holds possession, does Marko Jesic. Bayless checks the shoulder. Low driven cross, it's with Armson. Frees the feet, Armson. Another good opportunity for the Stallions. And Jack Armson, who is looking to continue his fantastic scoring run this season. I spoke about Tang Quol being here and playing well. Saw his brother Garan Quol, who's at the moment on his off-season break from his season playing for Sparta Prague in the Czech First Division. Blair has picked it up, and Armson is racing forward here, as is Maya. Couldn't get his head over the ball, though. As the Stallions have come out with real intensity to start the second half, there is no hint of complacency. They won't just sit on this 2-0 lead. They are going for this third goal. That is what their start to this half suggests. Maya and Armson have both had good opportunities early here, as the Wanderers have to play out, but they're unable to do so. Tsakenis trying to force his way past Radovancevic before it's hoofed up over the sideline. As the sun continues to set over the western stand here at Marconi Stadium. A decent crowd have come to see the best side in the NPL New South Wales men's competition. As Armson exchanging passes with Sekenis. Marconi continuing to go forward. As Sekenis couldn't pull the trigger in time as the Wanderers shut him down. Lawal fighting for possession amidst three defenders, and he somehow got it onto a teammate. Alad Abdulrahman. Radovancevic. Jesic. Stallions have it again. Wade. Lawal shut him down. Arate trying to keep the press going and has just about one possession and has won a throw too. This is a real test of what this young Wanderers team has in the tank. They've shown a lot of resilience in recent weeks, and now they've turned it over, but Armson had illegally won it off Anderson back. Blair. Quoll. Franson, no nonsense about that clearance. Was towards the goal, but Joel Wade happy to let that sail past him. I think that next goal is crucial for the Western Sydney Wanderers, just to avoid conceding a third, to give themselves a fighting chance and taking points off the Marconi Stallions, something that no side has been able to do for the last 5 games. Well, score against them, I should say, something that no side has been able to do in the last 5 games. Back. Standing well to intercept. Hasarati tried the risky pass forward. Sekenis able to turn and drive into space ahead. Damien Sekenis still with the ball at his feet. Left it slightly behind Franco Maya, but the attack continues. Sekenis and Bayless joins, looking for that cutback again, and Damien Sekenis rushing through. Almost an unlikely opportunity for him. Quoll going strong in the air against Lawal. Lawal has only had maybe a chance or two to get forward at this Marconi defence. Had a shout for a penalty in the first half, which was waved away. And also an opportunity where Quoll had shut him down. Wade had to get rid of it with Lawal rushing at him. Jesic is going to keep the chase up here. Marzal forced into the corner. Windus has time to nod that down again for Bayless. Jesic pushing Quinton Blair forward, and Jesic returns it back to him. That's a good ball in from Jesic. Wanderers need 2 attempts at the clearance. Joe Wade. Again forced to go long with Lawal pressuring him. As Franson nods that back to Sinot, and the Wanderers can restart play again. Hasarati Asking a bit too much of Tristan Arate. Franson's underneath that. Radovancevic. Again, the Wanderers trying to put the passes together at the moment. They've been able to do that this time. Alat Abdul Rahman. Again, they just weren't on the same wavelength there. Alat Abdul Rahman had shown short, but the Wilders won it back in the attacking third. Abdul Rahman unable to pass through Bayless. Franson. Anderson back. As the Wanderers try and just calm things down a little bit. But Armson has pinched it back for Tsakenis, and now Meyer is joining as well. Franco Meyer, a chance for his second. A fantastic save by Sanot to deny him and to keep the deficit to just 2. As the Wanderers turned it over in midfield, Jack Armson with an outstretched right foot to move it across to Damien Tsakenis, who then pushed forward and kept the attack moving and got it onto that favoured left foot of Franco Meyer, who was trying to pick out that far post. And in Franco Meyer's touch, you would have absolutely backed him to score from there. And it's taken a superb bit of goalkeeping to limit just the damage to a corner. Bayless towards the 6-yard area, but it's again Sanot who claims. Now there's a foul there on Alad Abdul Rahman, and I think Tenkwal will become the second player into the book, and he is. An easy call for referee Vicakovic. And Abdul Rahman is in need of a bit of treatment here. This might be a good opportunity to run you through both benches today. So for Marconi, they have Matej Busek, Julian Monge, Luca Pecora, Sunday Yona, Ahmed El Helu, Antonio Marvello, and the backup goalkeeper Aaron Haig. For the Wanderers, they've already used one of their subs in Giorgio Hasarati. They also have Corey Da Cruz. The backup goalkeeper is Samuel Goldberg. They have Joshua Setanich, Thomas Satuk, Owen Gosowski, and Emil Katrib. Looks like he'll be all right enough to continue. He's back to his feet. Well, he's limping rather awkwardly, Abdul Rahman. And the Wanderers play that deep into Marconi's territory. Abdul Rahman is still hobbling around, trying to just run this off. Although I don't know how much good that'll do him. Yesic is just having a bit of a chat to him. Doesn't look like there's any movement taking place on the Wanderers bench as to potential substitution. Bayless going over the top. There is Oscar Morrison. As the ball kids fight between themselves for who gets to pass the ball to one of the fan favourites in George Daniel. Here he is, Daniel. Wanderers wanted to throw. Daniel knows his geometry in this part of the world and knows this left touchline very well, able to keep it in. Franson had to go quickly. Tsakenis is trying to hold it up, but the bounce gets the better of him. Armson steps in though. A little telegraphed pass from Yesic is cut out. Good touch from back. Now with Arate. Has Jesse Cameron overlapping? We haven't seen Cameron allowed to get forward with how much possession the Stallions have had in the first hour of this game, as the Wanderers continue to search for a way back into the contest. Franson. Actually, it looks like Abdul Rahman has taken to the deck, and I think that is going to be the end of his afternoon as the physio comes across. And so a substitution will be about to take place. So it is going to be Emil Katrib replacing Alat Abdul Rahman. That's the Wanderers' second substitution of the game. And they've made another sub now. Oscar Moore has been replaced by Joshua Stenich. More subs for the Wanderers as they try and chase this 2-goal deficit, as Jesic has skipped around his man. Finds space for Quinton Blair in midfield. Tsukenis turns on the ball. It's still with Damien Tsukenis. Thought about letting go, and Wanderers getting his way. Awan Lawal continues to work tirelessly up top. Qual getting the better of Lawal in the air, but forcing himself into a bit of trouble here is Ten Qual off his back, and that allows Emil Katrib to get into the play. His first touches since coming on. Marzal and Katrib. Marconi just trying to contain the Wanderers for the time being. But Arate has gotten loose and gotten into space. Chance brewing for Western Sydney. Tristan Arate off the heels of Bayliss to stop that cross getting to its intended target. Daniel swings at it to try and gain his side some field position. Does get a little further forward. Marzal looking for an option on this throw. Setinich had showed short for him, but they'll go backwards before they go forwards here, the Wanderers, with Marzal and Lawal. Turning and looking for that killer pass forward. Marconi wiser to it. Setinich. Radovancevic. Cameron. Arate. This is much better from the Wanderers as they continue to knock the ball around in search of this first goal. Franson. This has probably been a more extended spell of possession that the Wanderers have enjoyed, but the commentators curse strikes as they turn it over. Windust. A towering header to send that back over. Marconi will be happy to let the Wanderers have the ball. They're no strangers to defending strongly, are the Stallions. Of course, as mentioned, they have the best defensive record in the competition. Just 14 goals conceded this season, which is remarkable given the amount of games that we've had this year. This is, of course, round 23, so 14 goals in 23 games is an insane defensive record. But it's been their attack that has really taken them to a next level. They've always been known to be a good defensive side under Peter Sekenis, but their attack has really clicked into gear this season. Jesic looking to add another contribution. Deflected out for a throw. Of course, they're also still the only side yet to lose at home this season are the Marconi Stallions. UNSW shared that record with them up until a few weeks ago. 8 wins and 2 draws at this venue so far. That's a good ball in towards Qual. That will be a Marconi corner. It's remarkable how good they've been at home. They've conceded just 4 goals at home this season, Marconi, through 10 games played. The last time they conceded at home was back in May against Rockdale, that game spoke about, which was incidentally the last time they conceded a goal at all. Meanwhile, Jesic is trying to play a bit of blocker in front of Lucas Sinot. Referee keeping a keen eye on proceedings in the 6-yard area as Marconi search for the 3rd goal. That would be the hammer blow. Meyer gets told that he can restart proceedings again. Franco Meyer to deliver. It's low and it's driven. Tyron Burney. Meyer. Bit of a deeper delivery this time to Windust. And Sekenis was searching for that second ball. Sinot had to quickly come out and grab it to pluck it away from him. As Katrib can't get past Quinton Blair, who continues to have a very quietly solid game at the heart of midfield. That has probably summarised his season as a Stallion in his first year. Quinton Blair has just been quietly doing exactly what his team has needed him to do. And now that might be a loose pass. Sekenis was very close. Daniel. Bayless. Looking for help, but decides to go on his own. And there's one Marconi, yet another corner. This time from the near side. And so full time over at Adensa Park at the Sydney United Sports Centre. It is Sydney United that are going to take all 3 points in that 3rd versus 4th battle. Bayless. This time deeper. Windust goes down. And there were a few players up in arms feeling that there was some illegal contact on Windust. He was definitely the target for that corner from James Bayless, which is why it caught everyone's attention. He was in with a chance there, but Ivica Kovic saying that he was searching for the contact and went down looking for it. And so just over 20 minutes to go here at Marconi Stadium. It's how we started this second half. The first half goals to Jesic and Franco Meyer, the difference. Windust. Header invites more pressure from Arate before Burney swings at it down the touchline. Windust getting over the top of Lawal. The Wanderers let that go out for a throw right in front of their benches. Lawal is trying to break loose here and has it. Lawal still with possession despite 3 defenders, and eventually the numbers get the better of him as he was a little too isolated there, and it was always going to be difficult to beat those 3. And now Sekenis has found a way behind. It's still with him, but again, good defending from Oscar Morrison. End-to-end stuff here at the Palace as the legs start to get a little tired in the latter stages of this game. Marconi are still yet to make a sub. Unsurprising, really, with how well Peter Sekenis' starting 11 has played. Meanwhile, Franco Meyer is adjudged to have committed a foul on Jesse Cameron. And just as I say that, Sunday Yona has taken off his warm-up top. There's another sub being prepared as well. We'll get confirmation of that in a little bit as Sekenis will go to the bench for the first time this afternoon. Meanwhile, Katrib trying to make inroads down this right side, but Kuala blocks him from doing that. Wanderers still waiting to take this throw. Lawal has gotten through a bit of space here, perhaps for Lawal, trying to tee up Hasarati. Franco Meyer doing his defensive work there. All hands to the pump for the Stallions to try and keep this clean sheet intact. And so now Marconi look to the bench. I think that might be Matej Busek. So Franco Meyer will depart with a goal to his name this afternoon, as will Marko Jesic. So goals to each of Peter Sekenis' starting wingers. And he duly rewards them with an early mark. And so Sunday Yona and Matej Busek come on in their place. Certainly a very attacking-minded change from Sekenis. And yes, it receives the warm applause from the faithful that he has played over 300 games for now. And another routine afternoon at the Palace for him. No different to any other day that he's played. Still work to do here for the Wanderers. 18 minutes to go, they still trail. Marconi have been doing well to shut the door on them. And this is a good Wanderers attack, mind you. Don't be fooled by their ladder position. They have scored the second most goals in the competition this season. Coming into today's game have the Wanderers. Tied with Marconi in terms of goals for. The only side that has scored more than each of these two is Apia Leichhardt. And so if this is to be a clean sheet for Marconi, it will be one... It'll be well earned. Meyer going back to his keeper, and Joel Wade will pump that up down the line. Busek has the fresh legs and touches it down easy for Sekenis. He's looking to try and add something. Damien Sekenis gets Sunday Yona into the attack. Yona tries to go between defenders. Still has it, Sunday Yona. Sekenis with the header. And he adds a goal of his own to the afternoon. The substitutes heavily involved in that attacking move. Sunday Yona picks up the assist from the bench as Damien Sekenis draws level with his opposite number 9 today, Awan Lawal, on 15 goals each as the tied leaders in the Golden Boot race. It has been another clinical day for the Marconi Stallions, as all three of their starting front three have scored. Continuing to be a real force in this competition. Looks like they'll make a sub off the back of that. So Ahmad El Helu is into the game in place of James Bayless. And you think from here, with just over 15 minutes to go, Marconi should be able to see this win out. And now it's all about keeping the clean sheet intact for a record equaling 6th straight time in the league. As Quoll heads that out of play. It's been 3 really well taken goals from the Stallions. Sekenis, certainly the most eye-catching of the 3. Jesic was well worked with a team goal, as was Damien Sekenis's. Both coincidentally coming from assists on the right side of the pitch. There's Blair looking to get Mate Busek going. He's got the fresh legs and the extra speed. It's all about seeing out the result here for the Wanderers. Sorry, for Marconi, I should say, against the Wanderers. Daniel goes to ground. Katrib won it back from him. Setinic. Going back to Sinot. And with Franson. Yono's coming across, but Franson takes an important touch to steer clear of him. And now the Wanderers might be almost dispossessed here. Setinic was heavily pressured. Katrib. Strong from George Daniel. And there's a bit of extras between him and Katrib. El Helu. Windus now sporting the captain's armband in place of Marko Jesic. Good touch from Windus to bring that heavy pass down as Armstead tries to get away from his man. Bernie already has an assist on the afternoon, and now he's going forward continuously. Bernie to the byline again. Again, it's a cutback. El Helu was the target this time. Daniel, he tries to swivel his way between defenders. Busek. Marconi continuing to keep the foot down here at home. Quoll able to help Daniel out from avoiding giving it away. And Busek. Mate Busek chopping inside. Still with Busek, shifting one way then the other. Another good ball in. Sekenis was waiting at the back post. Now Tyron Bernie. Sekenis. And still Sekenis, but again the Wanderers put a foot in front of him. You can just see the way Marconi moves the ball. They are unfazed by pressure, and they have been in the driver's seat all afternoon here today. Now Busek, he thinks about a strike, and it was swerving awkwardly for Sinot. He had to punch it away as Daniel picks up the loose ball. Marconi, they are in the mood for a fourth here this afternoon, maybe. As Quoll can only watch his pass go wide for a goal kick. It's awkward from Sinot. It's going to invite more pressure, but the Wanderers get away from it. Setinic. Arate is looking towards Jesse Cameron, but Tyron Bernie cleanly taps it away, and last touch was off him. They were looking for Mateo Busek on this far side. Broken up though. Tidy from Armson. And he's looking to unlock the pace of Sunday Yona, who has gotten behind the defence here and forces Franson into that clearance. The Wanderers are able to keep it in the field of play, and they can maintain possession through Setanich in midfield. Lawal. Arate is interested. Last touch will be off the Wanderers midfielder. And it looks like another sub is on the way for the Wanderers. Wanderers go back to Sanot. So taking a look at who these teams play next. Meanwhile, we'll get to that. Meanwhile, Arate's been able to turn on the ball in midfield. Wanderers will return home to take on Apia Leichhardt. That'll be a tough game again. They play both of the top two in back-to-back weeks. Meanwhile, for Marconi, they are back here in the original Sydney derby, the local derby, or however you want to call it, between themselves and Sydney United 58. First will play third when those two teams meet next weekend. That'll be a cracking game of football, especially with United off the back of an important win against Rockdale just today, as Daniel goes to ground and wins the foul, as Bradley Marzal came through him illegally, and so change is coming now. Tristan Arate will exit the field for the Wanderers. Still waiting to see who's coming on here for Marconi and who will come off. So Corey De Cruz replaces Tristan Arate, and Tenqual is also going to be replaced here. Looks like that is Antonio Marvello. So Tenqual's job is done in terms of getting the game to a clean sheet at this particular point. Good turn in midfield by Radovancevic. De Cruz gives it up. Now with Cam Windust. Has left it a bit short there. Has Marvello, might invite trouble, but Windust gets rid of that easily. Marconi still looking for this clean sheet. Wanderers looking for the breakthrough. A bit of positivity to try and end this game. Setanich. Busek with the strong challenge. And Katrib now. That's a dangerous ball in. Lawal is up for it at the second attempt. He's still trying. Lawal, half-hearted, looks towards the referee, asking for a penalty, but again, it is emphatically waved away. And perhaps rather impressively from Marconi, they've been able to put together clean sheets without Anton Milinaric, who has for so long been their key at the heart of defence. Windust has been the replacement option and has done that exceptionally. And so it is a bit of a selection question for Peter Sakanis now. Does he go with Milinaric, his previous first choice centre back alongside Tenqual, or does he continue to reward the positive performances of Cameron Windust? As Milinaric should be available for selection next week when they take on Sydney United 58. Meanwhile, Bradley Marzal is receiving some physio work. And it is perhaps another substitution is on the way for the Wanderers. This will be the first time they've been kept scoreless since that 3-0 loss to Sutherland 3 weeks ago. Wanderers have only been kept scoreless 4 other times this season. This would be the 5th, and Marconi would be the only team to do it to them twice. As that is cleared into space, there's a bit of work to be done here. It's well taken away by Marvello, but again, Katrib in the way to intercept. Setinic out to Cameron. To Cruz. Quinton Blair is all over him and wins it back cleanly. El Helu. Sent into space. Ahmed El Helu. And almost won it back after losing it. Cruz is looking for help. Finds it in the form of Ricky Franson. Now it's with Oscar Morrison and Katrib. Looking over the top, this might find a bit of space here, but Joel Wade quick off the line to deny Giorgio Hasarati. Yona has made a good impact since coming on, and now he gets free of his first man and his second. It's still with Sunday Yona. Looking for the cutback. Armstead was winding up for it. It temporarily stayed away from him though. Daniel, an important strike and an important save as well. He caught that well, George Daniel, and it bounced at an awkward height for Sinot as he has to palm it away for yet another corner. Busek to put this one in. James Bayliss off the pitch now. He's on corner taking duties. And has gone to the near post, but only finds the side netting. As Marconi continue to try and just play out the result. Only a couple minutes of the regulation 90 remain. Morrison. Setinic. Wanderers find a way out towards that side, but Franson wants to come back to the right because Emil Katrib has a bit of room. Setinic. Morrison. Armson is pressuring. Franson gets away from El Helu. As Wanderers continue to move it. Da Cruz. Now Lual. Hasn't really had a sight on goal in this second half. Had a couple of opportunities in the first, but Marconi have shut him down. And that is what a good defence can do to one of the best strikers in this league as Da Cruz wins his side a corner. And maybe something coming here for the Wanderers in the final minute of this game. Harmson just slightly misjudged it, but Marconi still get the danger away. Second delivery is in. Franson is at the back. Radovancevic had a shot, but it's going to invite Sunday Yona to free the legs and get forward. He has pace, Sunday Yona, and he goes down, but there was enough of the ball in that challenge from Emil Katrib to satisfy the referee that there wasn't a foul. So just 3 minutes of time added on, confirmed now by the fourth official. 3 minutes for Marconi to hold on to this record equaling clean sheet. Franson. You can see Sakanis anticipated the pass and stood in the way. Morrison has it back at his feet again. And now sprays a pass wide. Cameron, first touch. Hasarati! A good opportunity late for the Wanderers, as Hasarati has to watch it go the other side of the post. And for a brief moment, the record stood in the balance. Great challenge by Marvello into the second minute of the allocated 3. Through midfield, the Wanderers go. Setinic. De Cruz. Lawal. Shifting both ways, and now Katrib. Towards the penalty spot, Hasarati was there. Again, Windus stands tall as Sunday Yona has the fresh legs and has the speed to get around the defence. And that was right in front of the Marconi bench. They wanted the foul, but in the end, it's Tyrone Burney that just puts his boot through it and sends that back down towards Sonatas. We're in the final minute of the minimum 3 now. Marconi looks set to march on and will continue to keep that 4-point gap at the top of the table. Lawal. Katrib will have a second go at this, but Busek was there, and as was George Daniel. And full time at the Palace, it's Marconi that continue their run. They are still undefeated, and they are still at the top of the table by 4 points over their Derby d'Italia rivals, as they'll march into next week in that Derby match against Sydney United 58 in very good form. They continue their clean sheet streak as well, a league equaling 6 straight for Marconi, and a chance at history at breaking the record that St. George FC set earlier this season when they take on Sydney United 58 next week. So full time here at Marconi Stadium. It's finished. Marconi Stallions 3, Western Sydney Wanderers 0.